could mean only one thing. It made one's breath come faster or one's hair stand on end, according to temperament. The skipper's face appeared on the direct line screen from the navigation room. "Plumies?" he demanded harshly. "Mr. Baird, Plumies?" Baird's hands were already flipping switches and plugging the radar room apparatus into a new setup. "There's a contact, sir," he said curtly. "No, there was a contact. It's broken now. Something detected us. We picked up a radar pulse. 1. The word 1 meant much. A radar system that could get adequate information from a single pulse was not the work of amateurs. It was the product of a very highly developed technology. Setting all equipment to full globular scanning, Baird felt a certain crawling sensation at the back of his neck. He'd been mapping within a narrow range above and below the line of this system's ecliptic. A lot could have happened outside the area he'd had under long-distance scanning. But seconds passed. They seemed like years. The all-globe scanning covered every direction out from the Niccola. Nothing appeared which had not been reported before. The gas-giant planet far behind and the only inner one on this side of the sun would return their pulses only after minutes. Meanwhile, the radars reported very faithfully, but they only repeated previous reports. "No new object within 500,000 miles," said Baird after a suitable interval. Presently he added, "Nothing new within 750,000 miles." Then, "Nothing new within 1,000,000 miles." The skipper said bitingly, "Then you'd better check on objects that are not new." He turned aside, and his voice came more faintly as he spoke into another microphone. "Mr. Taine, arm all rockets and have your tube crew stand by in combat readiness. Engine room, prepare drive for emergency maneuvers. Damage control parties, put on pressure suits and take combat posts with equipment." His voice rose again in volume. "Mr. Baird, how about observed objects?" Diane murmured. Baird said briefly, "Only one suspicious object, sir, and that shouldn't be suspicious. We are sending an information beam at something we'd classed as a burnt-out comet. Pulse going out now, sir." Diane had the distant information transmitter aimed at what she'd said might be a dead comet. Baird pressed the button. An extraordinary complex of information-seeking frequencies and forms sprang into being and leapt across emptiness. There were microwaves of strictly standard amplitude for measurement standards. There were frequencies of other values which would be selectively absorbed by this material and that. There were laterally and circularly polarized beams. When they bounced back, they would bring a surprising amount of information. They returned. They did bring back news. The thing that had registered as a larger lump in a meteor swarm was not a meteor at all. It returned 4 different frequencies with a relative intensity pattern which said that they'd been reflected by bronze, probably silicon bronze. The polarized beams came back depolarized, of course, but with phase changes which said the reflector had a rounded, regular form. There was a smooth hull of silicon bronze out yonder. There was other data. "It will be a Plumie ship, sir," said Baird very steadily. "At a guess, they picked up our mapping beam and shot a single pulse at us to find out who and what we were. For another guess, by now they've picked up and analyzed our information beam and know what we've found out about them." The skipper scowled. "How many of them?" he demanded. "Have we run into a fleet?" "I'll check, sir," said Baird. "We picked up no tuned radiation from outer space, sir, but it could be that they picked us up when we came out of overdrive and stopped all their transmissions until they had us in a trap." "Find out how many there are," barked the skipper. "Make it quick. Report additional data instantly." His screen clicked off. Diane, more than a little pale, worked swiftly to plug the radar room equipment into a highly specialized pattern. The Niccola was very well equipped radar-wise. She'd been a Type G8 survey ship, and on her last stay in port she'd been rebuilt specially to hunt for and make contact with Plumies. Since the discovery of their existence, that was the most urgent business of the Space Survey. It might well be the most important business of the human race, on which its survival or destruction would depend. Other remodeled ships had gone out before the Niccola, and others would follow until the problem was solved. Meanwhile, the Niccola's 24 rocket tubes and stepped-up drive and computer-type radar system equipped her for Plumie hunting, as well as any human ship could be. Still, if she'd been lured deep into the home system of the Plumies, the prospects were not good. The new setup began its operation instantly the last contact closed. The 3-dimensional map served as a matrix to control it. The information beam projector swung and flung out its bundle of oscillations. It swung and flashed and swung and flashed.